The medium and opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Democracy in Spice Isles is alive and well. Ask you questions, sing and beat you drum. Make you suggestions, encourage them on to walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion and economic issue, regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in the land. God, we freedom, jealous and they in Cuba, Russians and Chinese and lucky like we. Right now North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Galaxy Equalizer ready like Freddy and Studio Galaxy 473 in Confero. We freedom of speech is sacrosanct. Make use of it. Let no one challenge. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is around. Galaxy in Confero, hope you know. 473 standing strong is yours, you know. The medium, an opportunity for you. Make your contribution, let them know. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe and discuss it too. Let the world know Studio Galaxy is a road. Chinese and lucky like we. Rand and North Korea wish they had it too. Most of the Caribbean lucky like we. Studio Galaxy Day for you and me. Blow your shell, beat your drum, tell others. Like and share, subscribe.
Welcome brothers and sisters. Welcome to our program this morning on Studio Galaxy 473 in Confer. This is the agriculture program. Well, this morning is a little challenging because it's always good to have Joshua with you. Joshua had a special role in biblical times and in Christendom. And particularly when somebody is given that name, Joshua was given his name for religious purpose. I always feel good when he's around. But this morning, circumstances beyond control. So this morning on the agriculture program, we're going to say beekeeping is the best thing that could happen to the police. Beekeeping is the answer for the police. And you might ask why. It's very difficult for the police to have a balanced work life. Ask any policeman. It's a challenge for a policeman to maintain a work-life balance. They are transferred and they could be transferred without notice at any time. Unlike most other occupations. The police could go to work this morning and in Carriacou this evening. When we say Carriacou, remember, all the East Yabot, Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique, they just put for political satisfaction. It's Grenada. Carriacou and Petit Martinique is another parish. So in the same way the police is sent to St. Andrews or St. David's or Union, they could be sent to Carriacou. In yesteryear, they felt Carriacou was punishment. Not the police alone. All Grenadian you send in Carriacou, they think it's punishing. But somebody must go in Carriacou. So you could speak to any policeman to maintain a work-life balance. It's difficult. We have a view that policemen hot. Some of them cold like what, you know. But people believe policeman hot. Because the policeman in Guave. 2 days the policeman in St. David's. Sometimes he go in Guave, he make 2 children up there. He go in St. David's, he says not the children, but they calling him name. And he has his woman, his wife, or his spouse in his home. So it's always a challenge. It's always stress and pressure on the police. Imagine you have Rainbow City and Carnival. So even if the police is on pass, and I don't know too much about the inner working of the police force, but based upon what I'm hearing, even if they're on pass, if there is a lot of tension in the air, they might have to stay in the barrack. So they're on pass, but they have to stay in. But they have a wife home. They have children home. So it is always a difficult for a work balance. In a hectic period, the police might have been arresting a number of people, arguing with people in the traffic. The police calling traffic. The police tell you come up, you say, I have to pack. And you arguing with him about the law. So it's a very stressful situation. And they lose their cool many times. And when policemen lose the cool, you could be arrested and you could get some boot. And he give you about 9 charge. You know it's only about 2 law you're breaking, but he drop 9 on you to intimidate you. So he tell you, well, if you plead guilty to obscene language, you go drop the rest. It's a sense of satisfaction. After that period, that policeman goes at his home. And his wife don't welcome him, you know. She say, all this carnival, you don't come home, some woman you behind. So tension in the house again. And he have to deal with that. And we have not taken psychology serious in the life. We believe psychology is for mad people. We believe that psychologists is for people like Dick and them that do not wrong thing. You know, not recognizing that practically everybody need to visit a psychologist now and then. Even the psychologists have to visit a psychologist. The last time I ever partnered a psychologist, he and his wife didn't come. I laughed till I cried. I said, well, you is a psychologist. You can't even settle issue with your wife. You want to go and provide therapy for other people. But he felt very upset, but I tapped him on the back. I said, don't worry. Jesus Christ was not able to what is the right word? He was not able to heal many people in Nazareth. They say he's a carpenter boy. So I say, no king have honor in his own country. You might not able to give advice to your wife, but you could advise other people's wives. So, you know, and I encourage him to take a drink. So today, we're saying that beekeeping is the best, is the answer for the police. The money the police working for are going to keep them in poverty. Just as any public officer, civil servant. After you work for 40 years with government, and if your salary is $3,000 a month, and you notice I like $3,000, that is the area where you doesn't be taxed. $3,000, and it's a good average salary in Grenada. After 40 years, you'd have worked for under 1.5 million. For 40 years, your total income would have been less than 1.5 million. And if you're thrifty and you're conservative, you may be able to build a nice house, have a car, and have $50,000 in the bank. That is if you don't have any major medical help. That is if you're not the person that gallivanting around and showing off and wearing gold chain and taking out your teeth and putting plastic dome and etc. That is if you were able to live a conservative life. You would have a house, you would have a car, you get in your little pension, you have about $50,000 in the bank, and you have to keep your backside quiet because you're broken. So I believe policemen in particular, they already, it's difficult for them to maintain a work-life balance. They have a lot of challenge in their home because of the occupational hazard. The job itself is a hazard. A police is like a contact sport. Some of them afraid to put on uniform. As soon as they put on uniform, people call them police, Babylon dog, government dog, all kind of names. So the police have to have a sense of maturity and a kind of internal peace. And other policemen doesn't go to church. They kind of don't have no more faith in God. They ain't going to church. And those who go into church, they're churchy. They're almost making a mockery of the church. They play more holy than thou. That is why I say beekeeping is the answer for the police. Now, so we could practically say after you spend 40 years working as a policeman, you're broken. And if you know one rich policeman that got his income as a result of his job and his occupation, then you could challenge me. But I don't think you go find one. Now, we have a history in Grenada that we like to spend money. We don't invest in money. It's a culture we have. As soon as we get a job, we buy some clothes, we buy some shoes. Sometimes we want to kick up some people, you know. If you notice these small-time jog men by the road, as soon as they make a money, they disrespecting all the elders, they cussing people. Sometimes the police say, that boy had to be dealing in drugs. You know? So, we need an additional source of income. A quiet additional source of income. And that's where beekeeping comes in. If you have 20, let us suppose you have 100 hives, beehives. One hive could provide between 5 to 20 gallons of honey per annum. I want you to listen what I say. Because when I speak, I dare you, know, and I challenge you. Even the expert and the University of the West Indies are taking them on. I know they're going to win because I don't have the necessary acumen to fight them statistically. There's a struggle with that word. Statistically. Yeah, statistics. I don't have the background. I can't reference reputable statistic organization or group. So they go win me. But I will watch them in the eye. When they finish with me, they have to bow, you know. They can't watch me in the eye. Because they know I deliver the truth. So if you have 100 hive, one hive give you between 5 gallons and 20 gallons of honey. Now if you're a good beekeeper, you're a good manager, you get 20 gallons of honey. But the policeman wouldn't be a good beekeeper. So let us calculate 5 gallons of honey per hive. So that is 100 hive, 5 gallons. The last time I checked, that's supposed to be 500 gallons of honey. Because one hive, 5 gallons. 100 hive, 500 gallons. Okay. So if the police sell a gallon of honey, now remember, the police may not feel he have time to bottle honey. So he come in and sell the honey on target by the gallon. So on target going to pay him $100 per gallon. So the police have $50,000. Now, how much time a policeman have to spend in beekeeping for that? Police have time. Very rare the police work 7 days without a pass. And I don't know the internal working of the police. But very rare the policeman have to work 7 days without a pass. So if he getting 1 day off every 7 days, he have time to invest it in beekeeping. When he just start, he may start up with 2 hives or 1. When he just start, he don't need help. But that would be an additional source of income. That is if he's dealing straight in honey. But if he have 100 hive, he could let one of his women, if he have plenty, or his wife, deal with pollen. She may not care much about beekeeping. She don't want bee bite her much. So he dress her up and he have his pollen trap. So she only go to the hive, pull out the trap, and go back home. So she collecting pollen. $40 for a pound of pollen. So she collect pollen, she air dry it, room temperature, and she could sell it to the neighbor. Because pollen, they claim, you remember, it's not me that claim that, People claim it's an aphrodisiac. They claim it has a lot of trace elements. You could ask any medical doctor or somebody in the field. So when I say meeting, don't just accept it, lab, stock, and buy. I want you, a challenge in you. So don't just accept what I say so. See if it's true. They say pollen provide a lot of trace elements. You could even sprinkle pollen on your rice or on your food, and you could eat it raw. But $40 a pound. So suppose she get 5 pounds of pollen from every hive for the year, and you have 100 hive, and she multiplied by 40. So that's pollen. So he don't meddle with pollen. He dealing with honey street, and she dealing with pollen. So you see, beekeeping offers a lot of different little industry. You also may have individuals that are interested in queen reign, because a good beekeeper want to change his queen every year, or at least every 2 years. For the most, every 2 years, he wants a new queen. But because most Grenadians are not good beekeepers, so let's say you want to change the queen every 2 years. The queen might lay 1,000 to 2,000 eggs a day. So more eggs she lay, better, stronger the hive. Because the worker bee live for about 6 to 8 weeks. They don't live long. About 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes 4 weeks if they have quite a lot of work to do. But the queen could live for years. She could survive 5-6 years. She could end up in the hive and she ain't doing nothing. She just wasting time. She on old age pension, and the hive end up dwindling and dying. So the beekeeping offers a very quiet source of income for the police. Now, why I say the police? The police not broken. The police not broken. They don't have money, but they don't broken. If a policeman is working for 5 years, that policeman would able to manage to have a $10,000. You don't have to start with $10,000. He could start smaller than that. But with a $10,000, a policeman could start in beekeeping with a bang. With a bang. And a policeman don't supposed to afraid bee. The last time I asked a policeman,
bee does bite.
Why you don't go in bee? Tell me afraid bee.
Yeah, bee bite.
I say, how much bee bite you in the last year? You say, a bee never bite me in life. How much mosquito bite you?
A lot.
You laugh. Mosquito kill more people in the world than all animals put together. Lion, tiger, giraffe, mongoose, snake. Mosquito kill more people. So if a policeman tell me afraid bee, I throw him out of the police force. He's a policeman, you don't supposed to afraid of a little thing like bee. You're supposed to understand that. You could protect yourself from bee sting. But once you're in bee, you'll get sting. Be smart. Be waiting till you take out your mask and one of them stinging you. But you could live with that. But when mosquitoes sting you, you get disease. But when bees sting you, you get honey. Some people claim bee venom good for arthritis. I don't know nothing about that. Them people say that, and I'm not disputing it. But I don't know nothing about it. Because I see some beekeeper with arthritis. I don't know if this thing didn't go the right place. But this is a source of income for the police. Why the police? One, beekeeping would be practically therapeutic. You ever see a rowdy, aggressive, good beekeeper? Never.
You have to be calm and nice.
A beekeeper, once he's a good beekeeper, he start to change. He ain't get so rowdy and aggressive. When he goes to his hive, he don't even want to make noise. He want to go in the hive and disturb the bee as little as possible. A beekeeper consider what material he put in look at I forgot the name, the smoker. Mm-hmm. He says some material does make the bee aggressive. And he don't bang his smoker around. About 6 inches away from the entrance of the hive, he puff smoke. Mm-hmm. And he want cold smoke. You didn't know smoke does cold? Yes. He want cold smoke. Because the purpose of the smoke is to soothe the bees and keep them calm. Oh. He don't want the bees out of the hive. So aggressive individual going a bee hive going to learn very quick how to be patient with the nice.
Get bite up.
And remember, the police is a contact sport. They deal with a madman, they beat up a drunkard, they arrest a bad behaving fella. You know, it's almost like a contact sport. And it's difficult for them to maintain a work-life balance. But in addition to that, every job have its own necessary stress. Because the police deal with a chain of command. And sometimes the immediate boss is a jackass. But when you become a beekeeper, you tend to understand the working of a force. Because you have the bees, you have the workers, you have the drones, and you have the queen. And a worker might have 6, 8 different jobs in the lifetime. And they just leave for 4 to 8 weeks. So a policeman involved in beekeeping is almost therapeutic. It helps him maintain his work-life balance. It provides an additional source of income for him. He have a better understanding of sacrifice. The drones in the hive, the only purpose the drones have is to breed the queen. Anytime you see a drone, it's a virgin drone. All drones that have sex dead. But they have an important role in the hive. And the workers take care of the drone. So, as a policeman, get deeply involved in beekeeping, and he understands the importance of the bee. He may even start to understand his role in his family. And he could involve his wife, and he could involve his children. And he have an additional source of income that will bring much more money than his income in the force. And his wife will make money from pollen because she don't like bees. Because if she like bees self, well, next thing you see the policeman with a Mercedes Benz. If your wife like bee, because they're going to make real money. And his sons. And these days we have to be careful with our boys because they're getting very aggressive. Why our boys are so aggressive and getting in trouble? Because we, the elders, do not know how to redirect energy. Now, young people have a lot of energy. That's why they're young. Remember, the Bible tell you, young men dream dreams, but old men see vision. Why you think the old people used to say, vini ukai where? Because you're young. Come in, you go see. So your sons and your children may well involve in beekeeping. Your daughter may not like beekeeping. So you could put her in marketing. She's selling the honey. She go like the money. One of them might be responsible for making labels for you because she's spending all she time on the computer. You're surprised to know what she could do. Some may involve in queen rearing. They may well say, I want to do a master beekeeping course. There are a number of beekeeping chat rooms around the world. So daddy don't have no time for chat room. He's a policeman. He busy in the bee. He's not too wise on technology. But his children get interested and are perusing the internet and social media. They would see other chat rooms with beekeeping and may well get interested in it. Why the police? Don't waste time with agriculture. Agriculture would not help beekeeping. The police, not only the police in Grenada, in Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, the police should invest in beekeeping. The police high command should have some beehives near one of the military camp. That is a means of helping to train the policemen. Why you think the police must have something to fall back on? We don't have that problem in Grenada. Most of our retired policemen in Grenada, they home pining away. If they're drinking rum, they're drinking rum.
Hard.
Because they retire after 40 years. And then they realize they have no friends. All their friends was in the police force. This country is attacking old people. So the retired policeman is not getting involved in any organization because he's practically afraid. Some of the people that are disciplined and arrested, now they get a chance to attack me verbally. You never thought you'd have come down too. Once a police, all a police. You're begging for a ride on the road. They attack the police. Now, if we provide additional source of income, these policemen might be involved in training people about beekeeping. Sometimes when I watch the University of the West Indies, I'm so disappointed in our bright people. They have a lot of certificate, but they have this certificate on partition. They don't know how to practicalize their certification. The University of the West Indies have not helped in a serious way the dreams and the aspiration of the political directorate in the Caribbean. Caribbean leaders have invested immensely in the university. And some of them are product from the university. But they are more commission agents for the multinational corporation. They lack practicality. They're not surgical. They don't understand. They still want us to be sending raw material outside of the country. Well, nothing is wrong with exporting raw material. But what happened if Grenada was able to export a few container load of honey to the United States market? Well, one of the drawbacks, we may not have the cars to import all this fertilizer. Because we would increase production and productivity in crops just by the greater availability of bees. Because bees are one of the best pollinators in the world. You think our experts in agriculture don't know that? They know that. But bee stings, they're very soft. You found out that bright people are very soft. They're not hardy. They're not very creative. They're not very practical. Some of them want to write books. Some of them want to teach. Some of them just gallivanting around with a master's degree, the bachelor's degree, and the PhD. While the university has done a lot for the Caribbean, for recognition, because a small country in the Caribbean, if you exclude Haiti, is about 8 or 9 million. If you include Haiti, maybe 25 million. A small country in the Caribbean, with a university that falls in the top universities in the world, we need to cheer them up and applaud them for that. But how have these institutions helped agriculture? So take a mirror, watch the mirror, and ask yourself these questions. In Grenada today, you're going to hear government from time to time talking about beekeeping. They're just going with the flow. People expect them to do it, so they're doing it. They're not really serious. And yes, out of that, 1 or 2 people will get involved in beekeeping and make a little money, but not in any significant way. The police high command in Grenada, Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent should encourage policemen to have an additional source of income while not being in conflict with the job. Beekeeping, there are many of them, but beekeeping would be one of the most rewarding, one of the most environmental friendly, one of the most balancing with their work life, one of the most therapeutic. And when a policeman retire, he won't retire into isolation and frustration. The policeman would have a venture going on that he can employ 1 or 2 people. At least his family could be provided with more income. Let me give you a next scenario. Maybe it's not happening in Grenada. There are some crimes that go down in Jamaica. And when experts look at it, they say this crime must involve trained men, trained people. Whether it's Jamaica, Trinidad, some of the bigger countries. It wouldn't happen much in Grenada. It wouldn't happen in Grenada. And they say, well, some people must be involved. These people, this level of crime involves trained minds. Now let us suppose you're in Jamaica and they throw out a policeman out of the force for justifiable reason. He's a good policeman, a very dedicated hard worker. He has moved up the rank, he spent 20 years in the force. But he have a sexual encounter with a woman that got out of control. Obviously, it's justified to throw him out of the force. So you throw him out of the force and he gone back in a community, let's say in Spanish Town. And the gangs and the bad boys know. The police boy come back in town. he have to hide from them. He no longer have the protection of the force. For 20 years, his friends was policemen. And although the justification, it is justified to throw him out of the force. He trying to get out of the country. He trying to go and live in an area where people don't know him. But his source of income is not for he alone. He lost his source of income. What happened to the woman and his children? And he have some juvenile children. What the gangs do, they send an envelope for him with a phone number. Say, give that to you, father boy. Give him. And he see that phone number. So sometimes he reluctant too. But they give you woman an envelope with money. Give him. Carlos. Now remember, he don't have the backing of the force. He's afraid to go outside. But if the gang leaders accept him and they recognize, the skills, the talents, the information he has, and he broken. So while these things wouldn't happen in Grenada because we have a smaller society, we have a number of retired policemen outside here. What are they doing? The force, normally when you retire in Grenada, the workers don't like you. I don't know, it's some phenomenon. Generally, you work in a place for 40 years, and after you retire, you realize you don't really have friends in that area. So they are at home. Sometimes for the first time, they're watching their wife, she don't look so good again. When I was seeing her in the morning and coming back in the night, she used to look beautiful. They say seldom seen, better admired. Sometimes the wife watch the excuse she have for a man, and she too angry with him. And he has nothing to do. So beekeeping, I believe, is one of the answer for the police. It helps in terms of economics, additional source of income. It helps in terms of therapy. Because of the police job is almost like a contact sport. Beekeeping is therapeutic. Once the police start to deal with bees and see the fascinating nature of these insects and how they provide honey and the amount of industries that could come from beekeeping. Remember, you can call us, You can call us, Remember the number to call is 536-2558. And if we see any, if we observe any posts, we'll react to it. And we're really targeting the police. The police in Grenada, Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, all these areas are virgin nature for bees. Jamaica, Trinidad, we're encouraging policemen. You have the money is not a problem. And if we have 20, 25 policemen involved in beekeeping, the beekeeping industry could grow. And the police high command could look at other countries in the world, other police force in the world, like France and other countries that involve in beekeeping. Some of the military is involved in beekeeping for other specific reasons. Egypt, some countries recognize the importance of additional source of income, and the police force itself has business. The police should own most of the gas stations in the country. The police social welfare program should own the gas stations. They should invest in it so that the retired workers could have got jobs in it. Children of retired people could have get job in it. If we want to make the police a proud, I like to call it super cops. I would like to make super cops. People fighting to go in the police force. You know? And one of the ways to have improve the community relationship with the police is to have good, successful policemen involved in beekeeping. You have nothing to lose. We're still using honey as medicine. Somebody have a cold, like it seems I want some honey and lime now with a little rum.
So throat.
My throat start to, and a little honey and lime would I do well. Instead I have to try to put some water on it. But if the police force, I want to challenge the policemen. Don't take what I say for granted. Delve in it. Buy a bee suit and go and ask a beekeeper to go around with him for 2-3 times. If after going around with him for a couple of times, you realize that beekeeping is not good, and what I say is stupidness, bring the bee suit, give me. I will pay you half the cost of what you pay for it. If you believe you have not learned, you are not benefiting, what I'm saying is not the truth. I will buy the bee suit from you for half the cost that you pay for it. Keep the receipt, so we don't have no problem. We have a lot of young people going in the police force. Some of them wouldn't stay. They wouldn't stay. They're going to, particularly if they leave school with a good basic education that could get them in universities and etc. They wouldn't bother. You know? Well, what we could do, we could make super cops. And one of the ways is for them to have additional source of income. And beekeeping is a very, very profitable, quiet source of income. You could even get away from tax. The government don't want to know how much money you make. And remember, they claim pollen is a high protein and other trace elements and etc. A lot of people speak about pollen, but you don't have to believe me. You have Google. You could research it. And you have royal jelly. Well, that is at a different stage where you have royal jelly that you could use. And then you have propolis. So there is a number of smaller industries that could come from beekeeping. But sometimes I'm a little bit upset because I believe we could do much better. Believe that we could do much better in agriculture. We have to stop broadside agriculture. You know, we have to just stop talk stupidness in agriculture. Trying to make big speech, and that don't really make sense. We have to be more practical. We have to be more surgical. We have to show people that if you enter that area, this is likely to happen. We have to quote economic figures. As I say, one hive could produce between 5 to 20 gallons of honey. Ask any beekeeper in Grenada. They might laugh. Because a lot of the beekeepers cut the suit in the night. They don't share information. They do well. They do kind of well because I ain't see them with plane or helicopter buying plenty land or nothing. They kind of satisfied with what they do. But I'm challenging policemen today in particular. Don't waste time bothering the Ministry of Agriculture. What they're doing, they cannot seriously impact the beekeeping industry. You, the police. And if the elders, the high command in the police force, they may come to recognize the importance of it, they could conduct training. And we have enough people in Grenada to train you. You have to go away to get no training. And plus that the internet, because you will get a lot of information from inside. And if you want training on diseases, you could call the vet to come and give you training on diseases. But your objective is not diseases, money. You mustn't tie up two things. People going a lot of training on which disease that come and no. Your objective is to making money. So what you want is hives. And if you have about 20 hives, it is good as a policeman you walk towards 100 hives. Because you're getting pay from government or the job, you don't have to depend on that industry to live. If I don't send no unemployed people in this thing anymore. Unemployed people have to get jobs. Unemployed people have to be trained. And you have to get a job. So I always speak to people who have a job. If we want to move the beekeeping industry, it has to be, you want people who have money to be invested in. And policemen is not broken. You're rich, but you have a little money. And if you work 5 years in the police force and you can able to master $10,000, because you might be able to have it from your savings, you might be able to trust something because you have good reputation, and you might be able to lend some. After 5 years, then you know damn good. And if you're able to invest $10,000 in beekeeping, and you don't have to start with $10,000, you don't have to start with 10 hives. Over a period of time, you could have a serious source of income coming in. And that would be better for your family. And you have an industry that members of your family will be proud of. Because they're getting money, and they're getting honey, and they're getting pollen, and they're getting royal jelly, and they're getting propolis. And you could even sell hives. There's a period in beekeeping they call swarm season. Whether you like it or not, your bees is going to swarm. So beekeepers, and I like to say good beekeepers now, and beekeepers may sell the swarms. So somebody who wants to start beekeeping, you sell 5 or 10 swarms for them. Because they go swarm anyway. Or a smart beekeeper might set some trap wrong a little away, maybe a mile away, a half mile away, set some trap to get swarms. But I believe we could change. I honestly believe we could change things in this country. Over the last 10 years, I had some hope. I thought the government was humble. I thought the government tried. They had the COVID-19. I thought they were prepared to listen. They were living frugal lives. And I saw hunger in them for answers. Now we have a government that it upsets me. I think the government are vultures. I think they're greedy. I think they're political lunatic. The prime minister, I see him like a political lunatic. He don't have sense. And we have trouble all over the world. Israel and Iran is at war. Good war. Because Israel bombing up the nuclear sites in Iran. Some people say they don't have no right to. Some people say yes, they are right to. The war in Ukraine and Russia would not end easy. Because Russia seems to be embarrassed in the world. 3 years you fight in a little country, you say it's superpower. That don't make any sense. And everybody in the world seems want to fight. Donald Trump coming office and the Caribbean response to Donald Trump is not so good. So when these things happen, a small country like ours, sometimes we put we hand on we head and we balling. Or the old people say you prop in sorrow, your hand under your chin. This is a time when Grenada must take the initiative and take opportunities. And I believe the police in Grenada is well poised to do it. You don't know excuse. You don't know damn excuse. You need more money. You don't need a car. The money you take in to buy a car, invest in beekeeping. And after 3-4 years, go and buy a car cash. Because most time you have a car, you can maintain the car. And no, I've been there, I didn't tongue long. If you're working for $3,000 and you have a car, you're broken. So I'm encouraging policemen to get involved in beekeeping. Take me on. Challenge me, I dare you. The high command in the police. Take me on. And I challenge you today, buy a bee suit and go to a beekeeper. Sometimes you have to beg him. I want to go with you. I want to have a feel about beekeeping. And if after, that was a waste of time. It was not beneficial. You didn't learn from it. All what I said on radio was trash. Come and bring the bee suit for me. Bring the receipt too. I'll pay you half of what you paid for it. This is Studio Galaxy. And that is the agriculture program. And when we speak, we dare and we challenge you. And we hope the people in Dominica, St. Vincent, St. Lucia wake up. Policemen in these communities. Because the situation in Grenada is similar to what's going on. I see Dominicans want to fight with Roosevelt now. All are doing important. We not. What happened? We're not able to redirect energy. Once people making money, they don't have time to fight. So we want to thank you very much for listening to us today. And remember, you have to join us in the next part of the program.
To walk the straight and narrow in the land. Politics, religion, and economic issue. Regional, international, spiritual issues too. Agricultural, environmental, and trending to subject matter. We fear none, we back down. Freedom of speech is enshrined in